and welcome back to Beauty and the Beast. You know, there's never a night that goes by on my radio program where we don't have a complaint about cabbies. Now, there's complaints about their rudeness, untidy cabs, drivers can't speak English, drivers don't know the right route to take, and so it goes on. I believe the majority of our cabbies are good, hard-working people, but unfortunately, there are always a few bad apples that give the others a bad reputation, and that is what I think happens in the cab industry. But let's find out what you people have to say.
I think they're probably the most hardest worked, underpaid people in the country.
No, I get buses a lot, I think, because I've been brought up that way. You know, when I was young, you never caught a cab, and I've walked down to get the bus.
Oh, I was usually drunk most of the time when I had the problems with them, so it would be my fault as much as theirs.
I mean, I've just been ripped off so many times that I just can't. I just refuse to catch taxis anymore.
Sydney cab drivers are very good, very polite, very helpful, and I think they're really good to travel.
So on the whole, they seem all right. It's just annoying when they don't know where they're going.
No, it's just like a cross-section of every society. You get some bad and some good.
Sometimes you get them and they don't come from Australia and they don't know their way around. That's the only thing I find. And you ask to go to a destination and you've got to look up the street directory for them.
A lot of them are boring and they don't know where they're going, basically.
I find with most of them, it's the last thing they were driving was either a rickshaw or a camel, and now they're driving cabs. And I don't have a lot of faith in them.
Well, there you go. Some pretty interesting thoughts. And let's see what our girls have to say. And let's start with Carlotta. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I've been catching cabs for years because I don't drive a car. I think I've always been that sort of person. If I drove a car, I'd probably be dead today. So I always catch cabs, and I've known lots of wonderful cab drivers over the years that have been very generous with me, picking me up from home and getting me to work on time for my shows. But the one thing that's really annoying is that I don't know what procedure they go through today when they get their licences, because you get into some cabs today, they really don't know where they're going. They've been in the country for I don't know how long. I think it's their first job. Some of them don't even speak English. I mean, I was at the bottom of William Street one day and I said, I want to go to King's Cross, because I was such a lazy bitch, I didn't want to walk up the street. And I had all these parcels, I'd been shopping, and I went taxi, and of course being a tall, gorgeous blonde.
How did you go again? Taxi?
Of course.
Taxi? Yeah.
Oh,
if I was a cab driver, I wouldn't have picked you up. Taxi?
No, they always pick me up, darling. I go, taxi. And that's my sign of femininity. Anyway, and he didn't know where King's Cross was. I said, look, see the big Coca-Cola sign? Yeah. That is frustrating.
Okay, Jeanne?
Oh, cabbies are people too. I feel sorry. They've got to put up with the jocks that chunder in the back of the car, don't they? And people who don't know where they're going. I will admit it, I get really angry by the 3 o'clock changeover shift. When I used to have my office over in North Sydney, and I'd be with a client for lunch here in the city, and just sort of rolling out of the restaurant at 3 in the afternoon, trying to do, what is it, Carlotta? Taxi. No, I don't do it that way.
You're coming out of the bloody restaurant.
And they wouldn't go across that. No, I wasn't going to vomit in the back of the taxi.
You're probably drunk.
No, not business.
You and your girlfriend probably come out of the restaurant drunk as skunks.
Not when I'm doing business, Stan.
Oh, really?
Mind like a steel trap. Okay. One step ahead of the punters. No, but they would not take me. I couldn't get over the Harbour Bridge. It was that simple, because 3 o'clock, vamos, they're out of here. Now that really annoys me, but that's not the driver, that's the organisation that does that. So I think they're doing the right thing in Victoria. I don't think Jeff Kennett does very much right, but the taxis are working.
Come on, you're talking about my hero.
Well, you go, he's yours.
He's taken the state out of bankruptcy.
No, let's look what's going to happen in 30 years' time. What he's doing is the infrastructure. It looks good. Give them bread and circus, and Jeff, he's given them bread and circus.
Oh, rubbish. I mean, he's taken the state out of bankruptcy. Had they have kept on going, they would have been flat, motherless, broke, and there would have been no hope of a return at all.
No,
so don't go on with this nonsense. I mean, that's a load of crap. Jeannie, what do you reckon?
Actually, I love Jeff Kennett.
I know why I like you.
Exactly. I think he brought Victoria up by its bootstraps.
You're going to get a BMW delivered up the front.
Well, I love him twice.
And what's wrong with that?
Truly,
You're just jealous because you didn't get a BMW.
Integrity.
No,
I've
don't.
got one, but I paid for it.
Oh.
Well, actually, my John Brown gave it to me, and people say it's a lovely car. I say, yes, the wages of sin, his, not mine.
So a lot of people are going to ask the question, what do you have to do for the BMW?
Yes, that's a good
Just
question.
grow up and grow old.
Oh, okay. All right, Jeannie.
Anyway, darling, listen. I love Melbourne cabs. They're absolutely fantastic. I love Brisbane cabs because during Expo they could not have been more helpful. They were beautiful. They didn't charge you more, and they just took you straight there. Truly. And Sydney cabs are fabulous too. Except one day I was sort of driving along with a Muslim cab driver, and I said, darling, if you had Salman Rushdie sitting in the back seat with me, what would you do? He said, I'd drive you straight into a brick wall. And so now I see if they've got a cloth hanging around them or something like that, I think, oh, that makes you a bit nervous.
Okay, Lisa, what do you think?
Well, following on from what Jeannie said, I actually have heard a little bit of Stan's program, and I hate the fact that when people call in and complain about cabbies, the repeated theme always seems to be how they hate the migrants who don't know where they're going and can't speak English. I just find that a justification for people venting their racist spleens because they just hate migrants.
When was the last time you were in a taxi? When was the last time? This morning.
Yeah.
I tell you, it would have been the first time in a long time.
Absolute
But
rubbish.
what is wrong with getting into a cab and hoping and thinking that, yes, the bloke can speak English and also knows where to go?
I don't disagree with
And
you,
so
but
you're
to blame
saying-
those men themselves or
You're
those
saying
women...
because they're migrants, that's the problem, because when they come to this country, they don't learn all the roots and they don't learn to speak English proper. So there.
Like
There.
vulnerable old you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but the problem is not with those people themselves. The problem is with the laws that they, or the tests that they do or don't have to pass. And what Jan was saying about Jeff Kennett is right. I mean, he's put into place tough tests to make sure that the people who are driving the taxis know where they're going and can speak basic English. And that's the problem. Don't blame the people who are just trying to earn a decent wage and they're not rorting the system, Stan.
You know what? I actually agree with you about one thing.
What's that?
And that is that the government really do have to come up with a better system of teaching these cab drivers about where to go and how to treat their passengers and how to look after the cabs. And I think that's a big problem. Now, up in Brisbane, as you were saying, Jeannie, they have got the best cab service in the whole of this country. The blokes are all in uniform, the cabs are always clean, the cabs are always easily identifiable, and so it makes life a lot easier.
Don't you love the air conditioning in Sydney cabs?
I love the ones you get in. I got in one the other day and had I love the ones, all the decorations. You know, some you get in and they've got pictures of the Virgin Mary and they've got the little beads and everything. I got in one the other day and it had the bauble fringing and everything, and I think the guy must own the cab himself. And I said,
nice touch.
I said, is this where Maria Venuti does a floor show? It just looked like a star. I was expecting her to come out of the floor going, Mama, Mama.
Oh, dear. Yeah, can you just do that one more time? I just want to see it shake. Well, come on. You do the mama business. I know. Go on, do the mama.
I'm
too ladylike today.
I didn't see the tie.
Do you like the tie?
Well, you can take it off now. You won the bet.
Oh, good. After that, I'm not going to take any more. I'm going to go home. We'll be back soon, maybe.